So for my pre and post conference assignment, I wanted to focus on SBAR communication, which has proven effective in increasing patient safety. And so I wanted to go over with the students the process of the SBAR, what SBAR stood for, a little bit of history on the SBAR, and the importance of using SBAR communication during patient handoffs or when you're calling the physician. So during the pre-conference, we went over the learning objectives, and I explained to the students that there would be 5 objectives that we would be accomplishing. And the first one would be to explain the meaning of SBAR as it relates to communication. The second one, we were going to assess the importance of SBAR communication and how it relates to patient safety. Number 3, completes a patient care map based on patient scenario. Number 4, applying the SBAR communication during role play. And 5, critiquing role play scenarios that use SBAR communication. So to assess their knowledge of SBAR and what they might already know, I wanted them to take a pre-test, and I used Kahoot to develop the pre-test. So I will just show you the questions that I used in this Kahoot test. So the first one is I wanted them to identify the S in SBAR. The second question was I wanted them to identify the B in SBAR. Number 3, the A in SBAR. Question 4, the R in SBAR. Question 5, I wanted to assess their knowledge of the history of where the SBAR communication technique came about. And then the last 2 questions, I showed them videos. The first video was a representation of a scenario using poor SBAR communication, and then the second video displayed 2 people using an example of good SBAR communication, and they had to decipher which video was proper and which was not proper. And if you go to Dr. Sarembas, if you go to this Kahoot, it is public, so if you wanted to go through and quote unquote play it or take the Kahoot test, you could. So the students enjoyed this part of it. They really enjoyed taking the test because it allowed them to test their knowledge prior to me doing the post-conference. And it also was fun because I made it, there's different mechanisms of the Kahoot test that you can challenge the players to beat each other. And so they had to quickly come up with the answers, and it provides music, and which I'm sure you're familiar with. You probably have used Kahoot in the past, but it was just doing a pre-test according to Billings is a good way to evaluate what knowledge you really need to focus on. And so after they took the Kahoot test, I was able to see how each person did. I looked at the results, and then I was able to see where the deficiencies were in their knowledge based on the SBAR communication. And the results were great. Most of the students, I have 10 students in my clinical, so a majority of students knew what the SBAR stood for. The one thing, a lot of them didn't know the history of SBAR, and then evaluating which videos were good and which ones were bad in relationship to effective SBAR communication. It was half and half. So that was important for me to really address the use of good SBAR communication techniques, which we would be going over in post-conference. So before their clinical started that day, and again, this was also part of the pre-conference, after they took the pre-test on Kahoot, we then went over what SBAR was, or what SBAR is. And So this was just the PowerPoint that I gave them. In looking at SBAR, we look at what the S means, and we look at B, we look at the A, and we look at the R. And this is an acronym for a way in which we can communicate to physicians, ways that we communicate to our peers, colleague to colleague, nurse to nurse, nurse to doctor. And it's just a transferring of information about a clinical situation or a non-clinical situation. And this can be done verbally in person, by phone, or it can be done also in an email. So it's important, again, to assess the situation. What is the immediate problem? What are you calling? What is that? I would like to call a headline. What's the headline of your call? And then background. Just give a brief description of the relevant history related to the condition of the patient. Because in the clinical setting, you're most likely going to be calling about a specific patient. So give a brief description of the relevant history. And the assessment. Your view of the situation. And you can start this off by saying, I think the problem is, or I'm not sure what the problem is. And then also in the assessment, you want to state the urgency of the assessment. The patient is deteriorating rapidly, or we will not be able to do a certain service, etc. And then ending with the R, the recommendation. What's your suggestion regarding the action that should be taken to solve the problem? Or are you requesting guidance for a certain action? So what would you like? So using these specific words, and you can start each communication with this. You can say, my situation is, the background is, the assessment is, and my recommendation is. This is all important to get across the point that you want. And then the history of SBAR. Physicians and nurses were taught to communicate differently. Physicians were trained as problem solvers, and they want to first tell the backstory first. Or I'm sorry, they want the problem first. The doctors want the problem first. They don't want the backstory first. They want just tell me the problem and then give me the backstory. And then nurses were trained to be patient historians. They prefer to communicate with the beginning of the history and then progressing to the signs and symptoms and then finishing with the assessment. So combining both these styles of communication brought about SBAR communication. And another piece of history which is important, it was developed by Kaiser Healthcare, but also is accredited to the nuclear Navy, where submarines have used this for years to clearly and accurately transfer information in a timely and obviously critical manner. So that's just a little brief history, but it can kind of help you remember the importance of SBAR communication. So this is your challenge for clinical today. I want you to listen to the report that's given from nurse to nurse, and then I want you to really listen to see if you hear SBAR, situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. And then when you're giving report to each other at the end of clinical day, or you're giving report to your preceptor, I want you to really stop and think and ask yourself, am I using the SBAR communication technique? And if you have to use, this is the situation, this is the background, this is the assessment, and this is recommendation, then I want you to do that. So then the students went to clinical and they were given that challenge, and then after clinical we came back and we did post-conference. So I wanted to run through some role-playing scenarios with the students. So each student received the patient information on the form of a handout, and as you can see, this was the patient information. So they read through the patient information, and before we went on to the role playing, I wanted them to do some concept mapping with the patient information that they received. So I created a Popplet to show them an example of concept mapping. And it helped them really identify certain nursing diagnoses that they might want to look for. So we took the patient information and we plugged it in. We all came together and we talked about what patient information we had available. And then we talked about certain nursing diagnoses that possibly could be attributed to that patient information, such as pain, activity intolerance, fluid volume deficit, risk for infection, knowledge deficit. And then we talked about certain interventions that we would want to do to prevent the patient from increasing pain, interventions that would possibly decrease the risk for infection, etc. So they did the concept mapping, and this concept mapping is important to help evaluate the students' thinking patterns according to Billings, and also it helps me as an educator to determine the learning needs of that student. Concept mapping is a great visual learning technique that I feel like will take the place eventually of actual long drawn out nursing care plans per se that we use in nursing school, because I think concept mapping and patient care mapping is, because it's so visual, it really gives you an idea of where you need to focus your critical thinking, your reflective thinking, and really it helps in the long run for that to help develop that critical thinking. So then after we did the concept mapping from the patient scenarios, we then went on to do our first role play scenario. So I randomly selected 2 nurses, and they were given this handout, and this is the information that they were given at the change of shift from the other nurse. So they read through the report that was given, and then they themselves had to go in and do a bedside assessment. And then based on their assessment, this is what the student found. And this was part of their simulation / role playing. And then upon receiving all this information, they had to critically kind of think through, based on our concept mapping, what the problem was and why, what was the situation, the background assessment, and the recommendation. And then they had to call the doctor to give an SBAR report. And I allowed them to write down the situation, background assessment, recommendation, and what they wanted to give the doctor to reinforce kind of that chronological thinking of the S, B, A, and the R. And then I selected 2 and while the 2 students were doing the role playing of the first change of shift report, all the other students were taking notes and watching and critiquing what was done incorrectly, correctly during this role playing. And then we did a second change of shift report, and 2 additional students did the role playing based on the report that they were given. Then they assessed the patient, and then again gave an SBAR report to the doctor. And while the next 2 students were doing the role play or simulation scenario, all the other students were critiquing and evaluating things that they may have missed, things that they did well, as a way of, again, helping them learning and picking up things that were done correctly and incorrectly. Now, this third change of shift report, we unfortunately did not have time to go through because of the time constraint. I didn't want to go through this, but this was an additional one that I did give them so then they could practice at home, and this was all given on a handout. Then we watched 2 videos. Again, the same videos that I had in the Kahoot test, showing effective communication and ineffective communication. And they then got to pick out things that they could easily see then, that the ways that it was done correctly and the way that it was done incorrectly, because they had already role played and evaluated and critiqued their own classmates. So this was a very effective tool for me to see how far they had come in learning the process of SBAR. And then debriefing. We went through a quick debriefing because I feel the importance of debriefing. It promotes reflective thinking, and it helps the students apply the concepts, and it helps them look at, again, things that they know that they learned from and things that maybe they didn't learn from. And all the